Think I'm live. Hello, everybody. It's Julie with Day Trip Vintage Company. This is our first Vintage Craft and Chat of 2025. It feels so good to be back. I've been missing hanging out with all of you. I've been missing crafting. I didn't craft a lot during the Christmas, winter break, holiday break. Whoops. Let me turn my phone down. So I'm really glad to be back with everybody today. Let's see. Oh, I see Angela's here. Hello, Angela. Yay. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you're home on time. You're not working. That's always a good day. And Kathy's here. Hello, Kathy. Good afternoon. Afternoon in Ohio, right? I hope everybody, I hope everybody had an awesome holiday. Our holiday was really nice, spent with my parents and my dad and my stepmom out in Palm Springs area. It was very beautiful, relaxing. Went out with our RV and hung out with them. My dad had quite a bad cold, so we sort of changed up what our plans were just to give him more time to relax and feel better. But we had an amazing Christmas with them. Came home, spent time with the kids, and Jim went back to work. And then we had a huge New Year's Day party with friends and family. So it was nice. It was nice to kind of spread it out a little bit. Let's see, what does Angela say? Angela, I'm taking over the newsletter at church. So this morning I was meeting with the lady who usually does it. Nice, Angela. That's such an awesome thing to do. It's so good to volunteer your time in that way. I was really involved in our one of our local churches that we belong to when the kids were younger. I did a lot of, I helped out with the youth group. I helped out with some women's retreat, teaching art projects and just anything. It was nice because they let me do really kind of fun, crafty workshops and different things over the years. So it was fun. It was fun to use like the thing that I'm good, the things that I enjoy that I'm good at. So that's wonderful. I'm sure they just love having your help, Angela. So today we are making master boards. We're sort of going back to the basics. I thought, what should we start off with today? So we are making master boards. If you saw in the thumbnail, I put up some pictures and I've just come up with a really quick and easy way to do it. My tips and tricks may not be maybe the same as other people's, but it just, once I figured it out, they are so easy to do and put together. And I actually, the two that I made this past week, I did it on some cardstock that I didn't think I would use. I don't do a lot of card making. I had picked this up at a thrift store. It's birthday themed. And it was just sort of sitting in my paper bin. And so I use this as my substrate for the collaging. So this one I did it sort of a neutrals. I picked vintage book pages and sheet music, and I tried to stick with neutrals. So lots of whites and creams and some darker, more vintage brown tones, but just keeping it really neutral. And then this one, I added in some pastel papers. So I tried my hand at making a collage sheet in Canva, trying for the first time. I'm trying to pick up some new skill sets this year. And it was super fun and easy to do. But when I printed it out, it came out very pastel-like. Maybe I can pull up on my page. So all the images that I found to do this collage sheet, they're very, they're still pastel and vibrant, but not pink and super pastel-y as it printed out. So I have to figure that out. It's probably my printer, right? I don't have the best printer. Hi, Jennifer. Oh my I haven't seen you in so long, friend. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So yeah, I don't know, I need to figure out, but I didn't dislike it. I liked the pastel and the pink. In fact, this one right here is yellow. It's like blues and yellows, and it comes out very pink there at the bottom, if you can kind of see. So I'll see. Yeah, I'll pull up the other one on Canva. And the great thing about doing masterboards, they're relaxing. We use up our scraps. They're just a great way to learn sort of how to collage. I think it's a good starting point, but it's great to have these at the ready because they make perfect bases for journaling tags, for cards, for belly bands. You could even make covers for your journals out of them. So they're just a great basic. I have tried to have many pre-made, and I can just grab them like, okay, I'm going to make a tag. I grab my masterboard little envelope here, and I can just pull them out and get going at them. So I think they're a really great thing to have on hand. And I have a couple examples. In fact, let me turn around. It's probably better. I think you guys can see a little bit better. So let me change my camera here. Try not to make you guys too sick. And I'll probably, yeah, let me push my computer back a little bit so we don't have that shadowing. There we go. Okay, good. Hopefully everybody can hear me and see me. Yes, they would make great bases for ATCs. We are doing ATCs in our Instagram craft group right now. So yes, they are perfect. ATCs are the size of playing cards. I don't have that in my head memorized, but yes, you could just cut the size you need. And amazing. The other fun thing about masterboards when you're making them and building them this way, what I like to do too often is I will turn it over and cut, and then it's always a surprise. But I have to say they always turn out beautiful, but it's a surprise what they will look like, right, when you turn them back over. And you can see the back of this just has that birthday print. And I don't cover the back because if I'm using this as a belly band, a piece of this, or say a pocket, I don't really care what the back looks like. So typically I wait to cover the back. If I'm going to be making journaling cards or something like that, I will cover the back with ledger paper or coffee dyed paper, something like that, some kind of neutral that's nice to write on. You did? You got some cool stuff from Temu? Ooh, I haven't ordered. I think I ordered way before Christmas, like maybe a month or two before. So I haven't ordered any Valentine's stuff. Ooh, post pictures. Post pictures. Hi, Debbie. My Vagabond Style. Debbie is here. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so excited you're here. Okay, let's see. What was, oh, that's what I was going to show you. Okay, so I just pulled out some examples of things that I made with masterboards. So these two tags I made this week, but this is just an example of what you can do. This one was actually from my file folder. I just pulled out a piece and made this little tag. So the back was just a generic masterboard. It was generic pieces of book page in those creams and those beiges. And then I just built upon it. I decoupaged some paper napkin on top. I added some Tim Holtz style labels. This is one of his flower die cuts here. I put a little tab and did a little dangle. So masterboards are just a great neutral base for building upon. And then here's one that's completely different. This is a completely different look, completely different vibe. It was from the same masterboard. You can see the neutral papers in the back. And same thing, I just came in with a fussy cut from one of my Dick and Jane books and just did a little collaging on the top. So 2 very different looks, but from the same masterboard. And of course you can ink them up, and I put a little sticker here at the back, so you can really change up the look. Here's a couple other things. Here's another tag, again, super neutral masterboard. I actually put a piece of ledger paper on the back of this, but again, you can see how neutral that is. And then I just layered on some, I think these were from, yeah, these are from paper napkins, the little butterflies and the moths. And, you know, I added some little extra collage, but you can just really see they're great, great bases. And depending on what you put at the top, you can really change up. Now, speaking of masterboards and speaking of Debbie came on many years ago. How long ago was that, Debbie? I happened to pull this out. I must have known you were going to pop in today, but Debbie came on to join me on Vintage Craft and Chat. Was it a couple years ago? I hate to say it was that long ago. And this was the first junk journal I ever made. So she walked us through the steps of putting a junk journal together, and the cover of this was made from a masterboard. So we made the masterboard and then made the cover out of that. So you guys can go back. In fact, if I'll remember when I get off, I'll put the link to that, so it's easier for people watching the replay. And then this is another one too, where I just made the cover out of a masterboard. So super easy peasy. Was that like 2 years ago? Oh my gosh, it was so long. Isn't it crazy to think that was 2 years ago? Oh, I did, Kathy. I did. Yes, he's retiring, right? Was that the gist of it? I was doing dishes or something, so I was sort of half listening and watching off and on. But he's retiring, I think, right? He said after 20 years, he said he was missing the making and being creative, right? Because I'm sure you have to manage several years out, right? When you have new product that's launching, you're working so ahead of things. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. And as he was saying, it'll be fun to go back and just create with all these amazing products that have had his name on them. And it sounds like they're going to continue the makers, Sizzix, and all the different ones. They're going to continue to, launch new things and new products under his name in keeping with his vibe. So I think that's amazing. Oh, that's right. Okay, I heard that too. Yes, new products, right, which were in the making probably a year or two ago, are coming out this year. So that's exciting. I sort of hoard my Tim Holtz stuff, and I really try to work with it more. I don't have a lot of it, but I'm trying to be better about using it. In fact, I used some on the cover of this one too. And this is just that monthly journal that I did a video on a while back. Oh, actually this is that? I don't think this was a masterboard, but sort of. I think I just took a piece of, I don't know, cardboard or cardstock or something like that. And I did like a little mini one, but I don't think this was one that I cut up, but I forgot that was in there. So that's fun. Okay. And I also was going to talk about, I had said that the, pieces of cardstock that you don't necessarily love are terrific to use for this project. Plus they're so big, you get so much masterboard out of it. Another thing you could do, obviously, just use like, those postcard, those flyers that we get in the mail. This would be good. This sort of thin, I just grabbed this out of the kitchen the other day. So just a really thin, what do I want to say? Like cereal box or this cracker box that would make that would make a good substrate or backing for it too. And let me get that out of the way. What was the other thing that I wanted to say? Yeah, it was talking about backdrops. I think that was it. I think that was it for those two. Oh, I know. I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can pull up Canva. I wanted to show you how differently, let's see if I can find it, how my first attempt at a collage printable paper was so much different than when it printed out. Let me find it here. Let me go in because I do have Canva on my phone. So funny. I think Taylor said she's going to take a look at it. Okay, so this is what it looks like on Canva. So hopefully you can see what the color. Ooh, let me take that off. What the colors are here. So they're much more vibrant. These images here are like antique. I wonder if I can make it bigger. You know, they're definitely in the brown tones or the cream tones. You can see that one there. And then this is what it looked like when it printed out. So even look at that little sweet oil label down there in the corner. So it definitely turned and printed out very pink. But again, I actually ended up liking it because I plan to use my master boards for spring crafting, you know, take us into Easter and spring. And then see that one there? Look at this one right here, how it's blues and yellows. And then it turned out so pink there. So again, I thought I would use it. I did, Angela. I created it on Canva. So what I did, and hopefully once I can figure it out, I'd love to do some tutorials, but it was super easy. So what I did, I wanted it to print on an 8.5, 11 size piece of paper. So I went in, I can't tell you exactly, maybe I could figure out how to, you know, like split screen and show it at some point. I'll probably have to have Taylor's help. Always have to have Taylor's help with everything. But I chose a page. So I did a custom one. I chose 8.5 by 11. And then I just went online and I found all these images. So a lot of them came from public domain. There are a lot of antique images. Some I found on Graphics Fairy, right? Because they're part of the public domain and we're free to use those. And then I went into the section where you can pull the windows. Let me see if I can show it here. Where is that? If I can show it without messing up. I'm not as good on my phone, but where you can pull in the little windows that have like their boxes. So I pulled in rectangle shapes and I pulled in square shapes. So the ones that look like they have trees and stuff on them. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it so much more vibrant? It's just crazy. So it's likely my printer is the problem. Maybe I'm getting low on a particular ink, or my printer is just not, it's just not great. So it could be a multiple issues. So I just pulled in squares and rectangles, and then I just adjusted them the size. So I just made them, you know, I just made them bigger to fit the page, and I just kept filling them in and just kind of made a little puzzle. In fact, this one, no, this doesn't have it, but at one point I had like a little tiny square and I just filled it in with some vintage. And yes, these all came from, they came from images that I had downloaded a long time ago that were antique and public domain images and Graphics Fairy. I don't think anything came from anything else. Let's see. Oh, Leanne is here. Hello, Leanne. No such thing as late. No such thing as late. I'm glad you're here. And Annette is here. Hello, Annette. Happy 2025, everybody. I'm so glad everybody's here. So yeah, that's basically how I did it. And if I could do it, I know you guys can do it as well. It was super, super easy. And hopefully those of you that have worked with Canva, basically you just save the images, right? If you go into Graphics Fairy, you can download and save the images to your computer. And then when you're in Canva, there's an area where you can upload pictures or images. So then I just uploaded. And the other thing too is that once you bring that image, you know, like say into one of these squares. So once you bring it into the square, let's see, like for instance, this one. This is a really big image that's like a big bouquet of flowers. I think it's from, I don't know, an antique book plate or something. So this image is really large. But the other thing is that you can double click on this square, a rectangle, and then you can move the image around. So that's what I did on a lot of these. This was like a big floral book plate as well. And I think this one, and this one was actually a larger one that had many multiple labels on it. And so you can, if you double click on that square with your image already in there, then you can make it larger. You obviously can't make it too small because you're working with the borders of the image, but you can make it bigger. You can move the image around just until it's pleasing. So hopefully that makes sense. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I haven't missed anything. So, and I'm not super techie. So again, if I could do it, I think all of you can. And perhaps when I can figure it out a little bit better, I can do a little tutorial on it, but super, super easy to do. Okay, let me close that out. Let me go back over here. Okay. Just so sometimes it's easier for me to see the chat on my phone. Supplies are super, super easy. Again, a substrate, you need book pages. What do I have here? Sheet music is good. I like thinner pieces of paper. I wouldn't necessarily take a piece of cardstock and then rip down other pieces of cardstock. I just think it's far too thick. So I do like book pages. If I'm doing a printable, you know, something like this to rip this down that's just on copy paper is good. So I tend to look for things that aren't overly thick because we need to cut it. We'll be collaging and putting other things on top. So we don't want the papers to be overly thick. Here are just some examples. I pulled out some book pages here. We'll rip those down. But you can say just, you know, an interesting variety. And even if you're doing a very neutral, with neutral, you know, whites and creams and beiges, you still get a lot of interest by changing up the type of text. So like that one is super interesting. We have columns of text. This one is super cool. We have sort of these, I don't know, what do we call these? They're not really graphs. I don't know what it is, but it, you know, kind of columns. We have lines, a little bit architectural. Recipes are great because those are interesting. What else do I have in here? Ooh, I love these. One of my new favorites is books that have the, what is it called? I just pulled it out. Let me look here. This, I couldn't think of it. They're calling it note script. What is this called? It's not note script. How come I can't see? Shorthand. That's what I was trying to think of. Shorthand. So I found a couple of those shorthand books recently, and I love how those look. So we just have regular words, and then we have the shorthand. So it almost looks like, you know, sort of like handwriting. I think is super cool. I think the rest of this is just sort of general, and also changing up the size of text. So this one here, the writing is super, super tiny. And then I like to mix in something like that. So I'm still neutral, but I'm mixing in a really big font. So those are just kind of the general book pages. And then the other things that are really great and fun are map pages are great because again, they're thin. This side is super cool where we have the columns and, you know, kind of the areas. So I like both that side, obviously, in addition to the map side. What do I have in here? You know, it's fun. Even though it does have a print, it's still a neutral. So this is something that I would still use. Of course, you could think, well, you could come in and fussy cut that, and that maybe would be a focal, but because there's a lot going on, I still consider that kind of a neutral. That would be nice to have on a master board. Let's see, some of these are the printables. Oh, another great thing that I like to use and use in collage in general and on master boards are the inside of these envelopes, these bill envelopes that we get. So look how cool that is. It's light, it's still a neutral. Here's one that's a little bit more vibrant with the blue, but they're just beautiful. And I always make sure that I keep a selection of these on hand. This one is super cool. And look at this one. This one, which was this? I don't know what this was a bill from, but look how cool this is. I probably wouldn't use this background on this sort of more vintage, kind of neutral looking masterboard, but this would look really great, I think, in, you know, the type of really cool collage that Debbie does, right? With the more modern, I don't know. It just has such a cool look. And I did it. I was going through my envelopes and I was like, well, how come I only have one? So I'm going to be on the lookout because I'm not really sure. Again, I don't know who this came from. So let's see here. Oh, I think yep, shorthand. Oh, is it short? Yeah, Debbie, right? It's so good. Let me catch up. Let me go here. Oh, Steph is on her way to LA to help her daughter pack up her stuff. She's near the Eaton fire. Oh my goodness. I will say a prayer that Steph is okay and her daughter. Let me know, Kathy, if they need any help, or do you know what the situation is once they get here? I reached out to some of our California YouTube friends here. I don't want to say because, you know, that's their story to tell, but I know we had one friend in the community that had to evacuate, and then we were staying in touch because I told her to come here, and they were able to find a hotel room. So that was good. But yeah, let me know. We're so close, and we're here. And I don't think you guys can even tell, but the sky is very golden. I don't want to say red because obviously we can't see flames here, but it's definitely not the safest. But right where we're at, we haven't had really heavy, what do I want to say? We haven't had heavy winds, and we don't have a red flag right now on the peninsula where we're at. So I feel pretty good. Let's see. Oh, you did, Annette? You learned shorthand 40 years ago? It's so cool. Hi, Annie M. Jones. Welcome. And I think that I have most definitely, I think I'm already subscribed to you. I know I have watched you do amazing crafts on your channel. So I know I am already subscribed. All of you, if you're not subscribed to Annie, definitely go do it. Let's see here. Yes, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Did you? You were a legal secretary? How cool is that? Definitely a lost art. Do they even teach that anymore? You did. Okay. I didn't want to say. Yeah. I had texted her yesterday and it was right when she got the evacuation order. So I just immediately said, if you need a place to come and feel comfortable and be safe, and obviously we have the RV too. I said we could even pull that out in front of the house and you'd have your own little spot. And luckily they found a hotel room for the last night and tonight too. So um, let's see. Such a great channel. Such a great channel. Oh yeah, Edward. I should have reached out to him too. I want to say Edward's in Pomona. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I want to say maybe Pomona area, just because he's shared like vintage, antique fairs and stuff like that with me. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Angela. Thank you so much for posting. Everybody go follow. Oh, so you did the training and that, but then never, yep, life happens. Life happens that way. Sometimes we're on one path and then it takes us to another one. Oh my gosh, Leanne. Bridget evacuated with her boyfriend and cats last night. They were basically surrounded once it reached Laurel Canyon and Ventura. Oh my gosh, are they okay? Do they need a place? Because again, we have the RV. I asked Jim, and I'm pretty sure it has pop outs, but I'm pretty sure we could. I don't think we can put the pop outs. Leanne has seen where it is. I don't think we can put the pop outs or put them out fully, our little parking spot that's on the property, but I think we can pull it to the front and then turn it around and have the pop outs. And honestly, our neighbors are so sweet and nice, and we live on a really quiet street, so I don't think it would be an issue. We could also run the electrical to it too. So, oh, Leanne. Yeah, it's so very, very, very scary. So the Laurel Canyon. And then last night there was Studio City, Hollywood, and Sunset Boulevard was on sale, or not on sale, on fire. That was like a new one that popped up last night. Yeah, it's just so crazy, so devastating, so sad. I've just been watching the news and praying for everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Leon, so they went to Redondo Beach where I think his coworkers live. I haven't heard today. Yeah, Redondo, I would say this kind of whole South Bay area is okay. Like Redondo, Torrance. There was a red flag warning in this area yesterday, and then they took it off the map. So, and we haven't had, like I said, we haven't had the crazy winds. I think maybe early next week we may start to get some of that. So it is I think it's a good okay spot. And then of course you can easily get down to Orange County from here too. And they haven't had any fire issues. So, so yes, that's why it was last night, the Studio City. That's so crazy to even think that's happening. It's just unreal. It's just unreal. Well, I'm very glad they are safe in Redondo Beach. And again, let me know if there's anything I can help with. I think that let me guys show you this app. I mean, I know I'm the only one in here that's in California, I'm fairly certain, but this is a really great app. And Leanne, this would be good for you to look at too. In fact, I can send you the link later, but it's called Watch. Hope you guys can see that. Watch Duty. Oh, you can't really see it. But this is a really great app. So you can just put it on your phone, Leanne, and then you can see sort of what's going on with the fires. And Studio, so the Studio City, that was Sunset. I think they were calling it, one was Sunset Fire and one was Sunswept Fire. And one is no longer active. Let's see. And then the Sunset, what they were calling Sunset Fire, it's saying progress has been stopped and crews are working there. So they're just watching hotspots right now. So there are no, sorry, this turned into a fire thing, but there aren't any evacuations in place in those two areas. So maybe they went back. Hopefully they went back home. Let's see here. Oh, Leanne, that's so difficult. Oh, is it, Kathy? I'll have to look. Mostly yesterday I was watching the app. I was watching Nextdoor, for any kind of local stuff. That was mostly what I was watching. And then I was watching like our local news, obviously. Local news had 24-hour. They weren't even having any other content. It was just all fire. And today again, same thing. Hi, Chiquita's Crochet. Nice. Okay, so you do crocheting and paper craft. Well, good. I'm not a crocheter. My mom attempted to teach me years and years ago, and I think I did a few little things. I didn't pick up on it, but definitely paper crafting. We're all about paper crafting here. I envy those people that make beautiful crochet pieces. I think it's beautiful. Oh, you're in Central California? Okay, so fellow Californian and good. This is a good app. You should get, if you don't have that app, it's been really great. I'm glad to just have it on my phone, even if I don't end up using it now. I think it's great. And it was called Watch Duty. And it shows the whole, I don't know if it goes to other states too, but definitely, I didn't zoom out, but definitely it's all of California. And so, yeah, it'll do Central California too. Hello, Maritza. Hola. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, let me make sure. I know everybody's saying hello and loving on each other. That is great. Okay. Okay, let me go back to here and then let's start collaging. Yeah, Watch Duty. It's so great. Definitely, I highly recommend it. They recommended it on the local news here. I take that back. It might have been Nextdoor, but at some point I saw that and then I was just sort of sharing it with everybody. I even shared it with some family members who are out of state because we have some family member that one in particular who's a fireman from Idaho, and he's one of our cousins. So he's coming in to help fight the fires, which is amazing. So I gave it to one of our other cousins so he could just kind of watch and keep tabs. Hi, Cozy Blanket. Cozy. Oh, I love your name. Cozy Blanket Bookworm Corner. I love your name. It's everything wonderful and snuggly and cozy. Books, reading nooks, cozy blankets. I love it. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad everybody's here. It's a wonderful start to the new year. Okay, so I'm going to grab, let me get these out of the way. I'll put them somewhere where I can kind of grab them. These other big ones. And then we are using, what side do I want to use? I guess I'll use the cut. I'll use this. Maybe this is better because it's less kind of in everybody's face with the orange side. Now, my tips are probably maybe the same as other people, but my biggest tip, and it's a big one because once I figured this out and discovered it, I felt like my collages really were a game changer to me because I've struggled a little bit. Sometimes I would do collaging and then I didn't really like it. I don't know, something about it wasn't very pleasing. once I discovered the biggest tip is to collage with right angled pieces. So squares, rectangles, it doesn't matter. They can be large, they can be small, but right angled pieces made for a much more successful collage for me. And I love the way they turn out every time. I never, in fact, let me see. Here's this. Okay, Debbie, maybe Debbie even recognizes this. And I kept it on hand because this is a good. So when Debbie came on my channel and taught us how to make junk journals, I think this was a masterboard that I think I may have started on camera. And she sent me some wonderful papers. I pulled out some other papers, and this was my first masterboard. So I mean, there's not really anything wrong with it, but I don't know. I didn't love it. I was kind of like, I don't like the way it looks. I probably even said that. I don't like the way mine is turning out. And the next several that I made the same way. And I even like, right, I was like ripping, and I had things kind of kitty corner and all over the place. And it's nice, but I don't know. And it could just be me. I didn't love it. I was like, I wasn't super happy with it, right? Did I probably say that? I don't like mine. Yours looks good and mine doesn't. Yours looks good and mine doesn't. So that was, I think that for me, that was it. That was it. But I guess if you cut this in smaller pieces, it's okay. But for me, I like the right angles. I like the squares. I like the rectangles. For me, that works really, really well. So I'm just going to pull out. Oh, actually, let me show you this. If you don't already know, let me rip down a couple. So I find you can use your paper cutter to cut down your pieces of paper. You can use scissors, but I find that the quickest, easiest way is to just rip it down with a ruler. I like to use these metal ones with the cork backs. So if you use the metal side and you put the metal side down, you get a very kind of clean edge. But the other fun thing about these cork backed metal rulers is that if you put the cork side down and you rip that way, you get a really cool edge like this. So it's kind of a deckled, just really, really cool look. So I change it up. Sometimes I'll do the clean way, and depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I turn it over and do this sort of ragged edge. I think it looks so cool. I think I'll do this side. And you can really go at it and rip down a lot of pages very, very quickly. So I would say that's also a tip. And prepping your pieces. So just sitting down, relaxing, grabbing your book pages or your printables, whatever you have, and just rip away. It's quick, it's easy. And then you have your little piles. So let's pull out some. I'm going to rip this one down a little bit. And the other thing I do is I try to get rid of as much of the white space as I can. Sometimes I'll leave it in, it depends, but I typically like mostly text or writing or an image and not a lot of the white space. Let me see. Let's look at these. Some of these I might have left some white space. Let me look. Well, like this one, for instance, this one has quite a bit of white space in it, but I think that that's so attractive to me. I love the way that looks because I think it's the back side of some music page, and it just has a really cool graphic. You know, some may have some open space in here. That's okay. I felt like I put one on here that had a lot. Oh, okay, so this one. So see this one right here, I did leave that white border on. But I try to not do it a lot or often, let's just say. And that's it. So we are going to, let me grab, I should have grabbed already. I'm going to grab, oh, that has Pinocchio on the back. I'm going to grab a glue stick and grab my glue book, and we're just going to go at it. We're just going to grab and go. Maybe we'll make half of this kind of neutral, and then maybe the other half will mix in. Oh, I did the wrong side. I did the wrong side. Let me grab another one. Here we go. And then we'll mix in some of the maybe map pages or some of the pastel. And I also don't mind that I don't necessarily try to get everything going the right direction. I figure by the time you collage other things on, I don't try to have everything, you know, as if I'm reading the wording. I'm not saying the right, I'm totally not saying that the right way, but you know what I mean. Now look how cool that one is. I think that one's very cool. I think we'll do that. Yeah, so I just I'll change up the direction that the wording is going. Because also I don't know what the end use will be. And there we go. And I try to overlap a little as I can. I think that's good. Let me make this one a little bit smaller. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yes, and Kathy's right. You can go in later and you can add smaller bits of paper over like that where I had that white space or that white border. Yes, doesn't it? If they're weird shapes, it just makes it harder. It takes me longer. Yeah. And it's a puzzle that kind of frustrates me. It kind of frustrates me. So I just found this is so much quicker and easier once I figured out this right angle thing. Put that one there. I like this. I'm going to try to figure out where I want that. In fact, let's put that there. That's a perfect spot for it. In fact, talking about scraps, I slowly over this week, I've been putting my craft supplies back onto my dining room table, which is my craft area. And I said I wasn't going to fill it up and clutter it up, or at least I said that in my own mind. But of course, now it's covered. It's completely covered with things, but that's okay. And then I decided I had a little table that sits to my right. It was a table of my mom's, a little antique table. And I've had that next to me, which held my antique bin with all my, what do I want to say? It's like a metal bin, and then I have all my collage papers and different junk journal papers. Ooh, that one stuck very badly. I'm going to cut that one. Hopefully I can save it. And so I decided it was taking up floor space, and I didn't bring that back into the space, but I had two little drawers that had a lot of my scraps, paper scraps. So even this morning I pulled the drawers out and I was going through them, and I had so many of these little tiny pieces that were perfect for us to use today. So this is a great scrap busting. and so relaxing. So hopefully you can see that. So I'm just overlapping. There's not really any super rhyme or reason. I am kind of trying to mix up. I have some, lighter color paper, and then I'll bring in something that's a little bit darker. So there's a little bit of method to my madness. Let's see what else we have here. What catches my eye? We will have a little bit going down this way. Yes, isn't the ruler is so quick and easy. So Chablis salad. 2 envelopes, unflavored gelatin, cold water, Chablis, unpaired cucumber. What does that mean? Unpaired. Does that mean not peeled? Unpaired cucumber, green pepper, salt, sugar, lemon juice, and crushed pineapple. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. I know we all used to eat a lot of that kind of stuff. Probably all of us growing up, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. What am I want something. Where did that? I just had it too. Maybe I had this one over here. I had this shorthand. I'm not seeing any in my bucket, so let's rip down some of this. And to me, this is super cool. I don't know if we'll use it here today. We may, but I love that. I love the way that text looks. So we'll stick it somewhere. It's really cool. Oh, and this is cool at the back here, actually. The other thing I find is that when I'm ripping down, it's easier if I have the majority of the paper. I'm right-handed. If I have the majority of the paper, whoops, that one didn't rip well. If the majority of the paper is to my right. Meaning instead of having it where I'm covering the majority is to the left, and then I'm trying to pull this little tiny piece. Sometimes it works out okay, but it's much better if I have the majority to my right. Much quicker, much easier. And I often will also keep these little bits of the end pieces and the side pieces. I have a little envelope that I keep here in my cart, and I use these to stamp on. So if I maybe need to make a label, or maybe one of the little Tim Holtz, his stamps that have numbers or something like that, something small. These are great. Plus they're vintage. They look old. They already have that sort of aged look. I don't keep each and every one because I create so much of it, but I do like to keep those. I think they look really great. Okay, let's get, where was I going to put that? Let's get some of that. Let's go that direction. Let's change up the direction. Annette says, I was cleaning out a drawer with several old phone books, and I thought they would be good for, so good. Oh, they'd be perfect, Annette. I don't have any phone books. Did not have any phone books. I don't think we get them anymore. I don't think. But if I do, I'm definitely going to save them. They would be great. See, now I'm thinking too much. Maybe I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. Sometimes I just try to go quickly, and then sometimes I get a little stuck. I start thinking. I think that one's okay. Put that down there. Where's that? See, now I've kind of created an issue here. I need something kind of skinny, but we'll find something. Maybe something darker. Oh yeah, this would be good. Something that has a little bit darker coloration. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. Yes, they will definitely be obsolete at some point. Maybe that's why we don't get them anymore. I bet. I'm sure our city probably has stopped doing it. Well, and most people, frankly, like they don't even have landlines anymore, right? A lot of people don't have landlines. We do, because our cell service is so terrible that I don't want to get rid of ours just in case. And we also have, oh, that's good. And I also have an old-fashioned plug-in telephone that I kept. I think actually my stepdad gave it to me. He was really big on that. You have to have a plug-in telephone. So we have a plug-in, and we still have a landline because we're in this very weird pocket at our house. And we just have terrible cell coverage. Internet, cell phone, you name it. Which is, I always say, we live in Los Angeles. How could we have such terrible internet and cell phone coverage? But we do. It's really not good. Let me find something that's going to fit in there. I'll do this. And I don't mind that I'm sort of running off a little bit. Sometimes I'll run off with big pages because we'll just come in afterward and just use our scissors and just trim that. Just trim that up. That one doesn't fit there, so I need to go that way. I'm just going to rip it with my hands. Let's see. We are not super close, Kathy. We were probably 45 minutes-ish, maybe. Well, that's a relative term to here because of traffic on the freeways. So that's a little bit relative. But I would say we were talking about Nettie earlier. Nettie's in Santa Monica, which is probably about a 45-minute drive-ish, maybe a little bit less. And she was in the evacuation zone yesterday. So, but that's a lot of, what do I want to say? It's a lot of area that would have to be covered. And so far, we haven't had any, we're not red flagged right now. We didn't get all the terrible winds. I think I'll run that way. That we were expecting. They've been saying that for, gosh, like a month or so. Definitely a bunch of weeks that we were supposed to have this like 7-year winds coming and be prepared. And we didn't get it here. We did have it, I want to say it was probably a month ago or so. We did have one day. It was so crazy. I've never seen the winds like that. In fact, I had taken Ryan, my son, to urgent care. He's been having issues with his tonsils, like little kind of like flare up infections. And it was so windy. The urgent care, they had to put like bungee rope around the door because it kept the two big main doors, because the wind was so strong. It kept blowing the big, not the little one, but the two big ones. And it was almost dangerous to try to go out the other door because it was so strong. Like you could just get, caught in the door. So it was very creepy. And I lived in California and Los Angeles my whole life. I'm a native, third generation. I've lived only in Los Angeles and San Diego County during my lifetime. So I've always been in Southern California. It was so strong. It was really kind of strange. But we definitely didn't get all the high winds that they got further up the coast. And of course, with some of the inland winds that were happening. Bye, Debbie. Oh, I'm so glad you were here. Have a wonderful day. Hugs, hugs, hugs. We love you. Let's see. What haven't we used? Let me use this one down here. And then I'll keep going over a little bit more, and then we'll put in some pastels. We'll grab something else fun for the other half. Put that there. Yeah, fortunately it wasn't too crazy here, and so far everybody, friends, family, friends, everybody is safe as far as we know. So very, very, very thankful for that. And just goes without saying, lots of prayers and love going out to all those affected. I looked on Nextdoor this morning. I think some people were starting to, gather up things and kind of figuring out, I'm sure over the next couple days, what people will need and what will be helpful and a blessing to people. So we'll start trying to see what is going on with that. My daughter Taylor just cleaned out her closet. She's been working on it. It's been a big project. So we have lots of bags of clothing currently. So maybe we'll see what is in need, because that might be very, very timely. Let's see. Oh, good, Kathy. Okay, so she hasn't had to evacuate. Yes. Oh, I hope she doesn't have to. Also, the other horrible thing that is happening, and it's just unimaginable, but there's looting going on, right? Can you imagine that you've had just the worst thing happen, and then you have to worry about people coming in and looting and taking advantage? And they've been already having lots of issues and instances of that these last few days. So that makes me very sad. And that's also what makes people not want to leave their homes, and it shouldn't be that way. You don't want to put yourself, in jeopardy, but it's kind of beyond disgraceful. Let's see, what can we, I think that's good. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And also, sometimes bigger pieces actually go a little bit quicker. I like crafting small. I don't know why. I like tiny things, but I have to watch that I don't get too tiny. So also the bigger the pieces of paper you have, the quicker it goes. Okay, so let's get, I'm going to put these here a little bit. Let's grab some. Ooh, I'm going to put this somewhere. I don't want to forget about that. Let's grab some of the other fun papers. Let's make this one a little bit more pastel. I like this too. I want to put this one. It's a little bit crooked. I think I like that. I like that side. And it's still a neutral, even though it has that botanical there. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? What did I pull out? Oh, this is great. Now, I love this paper. Do I have the whole thing? I got this paper on Temu. Let me see, where is it? Let me see if it's handy. I want to show you guys. I don't think I ever showed it in a haul. I am in love with it. Where? Oh, here, let me go grab it. Let me grab the whole pad. I think it came and I had all kinds of other stuff going on, and I started using it. I never showed it in a haul. I tried to find it on Amazon. I'm going to keep checking because I hope somebody starts carrying it on Amazon, but I love it. I think there are maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 other ones that are similar, but this is the blue way. So it's just, in fact, I think I maybe even had some smaller paper pads or something that had portions of this on there. But what is so great about it is it's double-sided, right? So you have that kind of antique looking, this is probably like a receipt or something of some kind. It has this cool stamp here, and then the other side, so it's double-sided. So normally I probably would use this as, it would be great in a signature, right? Because you can fold it in half and use it, and it's beautiful on all sides. But I ripped off a piece and I've been collaging a little bit with it because it's so thin. And you know how I love blue. I love anything blue. Blue gets me. So I bet you'll hear, Leanne, don't worry. Redondo is such a safe and good place. And they've now lifted the evacuation in that area. So my guess, I bet they're just trying to make their way back home. I bet you will hear from them very, very, very soon. Also, keep in mind too that because the electricity is out and with all the fires, a lot of the cell towers aren't functioning well. So one of my dad's best friends lives in Topanga Canyon, and he had talked to him. So that was the first night around 8. And of course, they all had evacuation orders. And then my dad wasn't able to hear from him again until kind of midday yesterday, because he was probably somewhere, because none of the cell towers don't work. Electricity's out. So it could be that also, Leanne. I bet they're super safe. They're super good. Okay, let's get a little bit of this blue. I'm going to put that one right there. And I think that's what happened with my dad's friend. He just wasn't, he just couldn't, you know, none of the cell towers weren't functioning. So he wasn't able to get back in touch with him right away. Okay, we're going to put that one there. So that's just a little bit kind of a ledger look. I'm going to see what I have. Map pages. I love map pages. Let me see if I have them that have a good kind of colorway. Do I like that? Let's see. I had so much map earlier. Let's use the back side of this. I like this other side that has the blueprint here. I use that a lot in my collages. Yeah, I know they're good, Leanne. I know they're super good. And I always forget that our electricity goes out very often around here for some reason, especially the last couple years. I don't know why. And then that's it. We don't have anything. We're just sort of stuck. That's the other unfortunate thing that happens with the cell towers. Let's see. I need something long. I'm kind of getting into a little puzzle here. What color do I want? I think that's nice. I think that'll work. But definitely look on the app, Leanne. I think that'll make you feel a lot better too. That was making me feel better that I had that. One of our nephews was, I kind of knew that some little bit, not exactly where he was working the other night, but it helped me to not worry as much because I could see what was going on the map. And they also give really great updates, like up to the minute as things change. Hi, Debs. How are you? Hello. Happy 2025. I hope you are having a great new year so far. Let me take a piece of that. See, now I'm kind of getting into a corner, but that's okay. I think we're under control here. Put that one there. Let's see. Do we want pastel? Let me get some kind of pastel-y something down here. Oh, that's a good one. That one fits really well. And I'm still trying to think about what we are going to do next week. I'm a little bit, as you all know, I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm not always a good planner. I envy people. I know there's a lot of friends probably in the crafting community here on YouTube. They probably have like months like mapped out on their calendars. I'm just not good at that. I wish I was. I'm sure my family wishes that I was. My kids and my husband, and I think I drive everybody crazy because I'm not good at sort of planning ahead. That's a small, oh, I had that there. I want to use that somewhere. I like that. What is that? That's like some kind of language book. It looks pretty cool. Oh, this one's good. Okay, I like that there. So I was originally thinking, oh, well, okay, so next week, maybe that'll be a part 2, and we will make some things with our master board, which I still may do, but I'm just still kind of thinking in my head what would be fun to do. And I'm always open to suggestions. I love suggestions. Sometimes it's good to rise to the challenge. Ooh, let's put a little bit of this green in here. That's a good one there. Do you see? Okay, good, Leanne, right? Yeah, they've called off all the evacuations for those fires, and I think they're super under control. I think they just have people. So when you're in the app, and if you, I think if you touch on like the fire itself, you can see all the updates. And I don't know if it's just because I'm here in Los Angeles, but also if you swipe up on the app, it has all the updates for the area as they posted it. So that's really good too. That one's kind of a weird color, huh? Oh, I like that. I like that. I don't know if I like it with that shape. This is green. Let's put that one up here. How about? I definitely have some skill sets that I want to learn and pick up and teach myself this year. Do you guys have anything creative wise that you're hoping to learn how to do? I'm hoping, I definitely want to keep working on like the Canva, figuring out some printable kind of thing, because I would love to maybe do like, is it Ko-fi? I don't know. I've heard it pronounced. I would love to somehow maybe integrate some printables that I could have up for free and that you guys can print things that maybe I'm incorporating into the weekly projects. Like, I think that would be super fun. So that's definitely something I want to try to figure out how to do. I think that would be super fun. And I want to, do I want to go that way? No, I want to go this way. I was telling Debbie the other day, I want to become more proficient at some of the things when it comes to editing videos. Let's see, we haven't used any sheet music for a little bit. So I definitely want to pick up on more. See, now this one's really cool. So this is an example. I didn't rip this one down. I saved it and kept it this way. So this one has a lot of white edging here, kind of white noise, but look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, I love that. So it has this, it probably had like a staple or something in here. So this comes from a really old vintage sheet music book, and you can see the rust from the staples. Oh my gosh, I love that. Let's see if we can use that somewhere. That is really cool. And I also forgot to say, obviously you can tell I'm not taking the time to ink the edges. We're just getting pages down. I mean, that would be such a cool look if you came in and you know, say inked some, maybe some of these like printed images, or maybe this one. I think that would look super, super cool. Ooh, I love this. I think I'm going to, because I want to reserve, I think this whole page. So I'm going to fill in a little bit here, and then we'll put that there. And I also have that really cool one there. So let's see what would be good there. Do we want, no, I don't think I like that. But that would really give you, that's too much like that. That would really give you a different look, which would be really cool. I'm just looking for something that really catches my eye. I like that. Right? Yeah, you can just pick, you could pick a couple pieces intermixed that you want to ink up, because it would take, oh my gosh, it would take you so long if you inked up all the pieces. Okay, we like that. I feel like I need something darker. Where's my dark pages? That's good. Oh, we have this. Did we? Oh yeah, we did use some of this. Ooh, I like that. I think I like that really large font. It's interesting. Maybe we'll do that. I think that's good. Okay. And if you came in later, you could also go back to the front. I did just showed a few examples of things that I had made with master boards, just like this. Yeah, I have so much to do. I have some projects in mind that are sort of Valentine-y, and making something I wanted to do. Valentine's is a perfect time to do it. Just sort of making some unconventional, I guess, covers for journals out of unconventional material. I like that. But I think if I decide to jump into that next week, we definitely could use some of the master board in that project. So I will see how the week goes. I like that. The other huge project that I want to do is, I have been procrastinating, but I sort of started organizing my craft supplies. I did that kind of big clean out of all my papers and that bin, and using those really great, do I like that? Those great folders from Dollar Tree that Angela, I think I'm going to put that there, had turned us all on to. So I'll have to see, and I want to film it, but I want to do a big overhaul, basically where all my craft supplies live. So in my dining room area, if you kind of go back to that, well, maybe it was a vintage craft and chat where we talked about just general craft supply organization. In that video, I have a huge cabinet, kind of a closet shelving system to the left of me here in our dining area, but I want to overhaul what's in there, make it more useful, make things easier to find and things that I'm using more often. I have a lot of things in that cabinet that are like assemblage making things, which I want to get back to assemblages this year, 2025, but I don't necessarily, you know, grab for those things often. So I have that large cabinet and I have two large or semi-large antique dressers here in the living space. And then I have that big, what do you call it? I have the cubby system behind me, and then I have the big antique ice box that was belonged to my mom and stepdad, and I keep craft supplies in there. So I want to do this kind of clean out all the drawers, assess what's in there because I don't really even know what is in everything, and just do a big overhaul so that maybe I have zones. I'm still kind of working through mentally. Maybe I have zones of things that are, these are assemblage things. These are junk journaling things. I don't quite know yet, but it isn't working at all. It's not working at all for me. It's terrible. Let's see what Debs is going to do. This year, I want to work on letting go of items. I need to do some of that as well. And with the vintage papers and books, actually use them cut up for projects. I love that, Debs, because I'm very guilty of that. I find new books. I'm dragging new books home. I try not to go out very often because if I go to the thrift store, I went the other night though, and did I come home with the book? No, I didn't come home with the book. That was like probably the first time in a while. I did hit up Savers. But yeah, I have to use what I have. I really should stop bringing more in, but I keep finding all these amazing things and I can't resist. So that I need to do that too. I need to use what I have. And if not, maybe I need to start doing craft packs or something. But again, I don't even have the space to kind of lay that out and do that. So let's see. Oh, I think I saw some of that, Kathy. Some of the furniture and sewing channels are having their shows sponsored by an online learning. Oh, no, that's different than what I saw. Online learning program, but I can't think of the name of it that you should check out. What I saw, and I think I caught a few, and I think they were like scrapbooking and junk journaling people where they were partnering with organization people. I wanted to say gurus. No, that's not the right word. Professional organizers. So I don't know if they were professional organizers necessarily for craft supplies or crafting people, but it was like an hour-long Zoom, and the person was on screen with them and basically was going over the tools of how to get things organized. The one that was really funny of one I was watching, and she was a junk journaler. I don't know who it was. And the organizer said, okay, so the first thing you do is, whatever, like say you're organizing a corner or you're trying to get maybe your floor space cleaned up. She said, the first thing to do is to assess for anything that's trash. Which, for those of us that junk journal, things that people would think is trash, we don't think is trash, right? We think it's like super precious and good. So that was super funny. I don't even know if she even maybe she found like one thing that was trash, and she's like, well, I use trash. I craft with trash. So that was really funny. And the lady's like, oh. Oh, good, Kathy. Yeah, let me know. And I wish I knew. I don't even know. I don't know the channels that were doing this organization thing. I'm very guilty. Like when I'm doing dishes or I'm doing laundry or I'm doing something, I just sort of have things on as background noise. Oh, wait, I don't want to put that there. That looks just like the one next to it. Let me find something different. Does that fit? Not really. It's a little bit too small. But I just got a really good chuckle Oh, that's good. Out of the lady saying, look for trash. Oh, Skillshare. I feel like I've heard of that before. So what is it? They were... So did it have to do with organizing and cleaning out, or is it just basically teaching how do you do your stuff? I feel like, I had my many years. I had I'm also a self-taught metalsmith. So I had a metal stamping business for 11 years, super busy. We had our own website. It was on, I had a shop on Etsy. We were on a few other curated websites. And I did have one of those companies contact me about, I guess, doing content, like videos, like teaching people how to do hand stamping, but I was so busy. There was no way I could even stop. Okay, is that what it is? Okay, all kinds of classes. Ooh, I want to check it out. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, we were very busy, like swamped with orders, very blessed with orders. And I think it was something like that, I feel like, which I think is a super cool thing. Also, that was way before I even had a thought of feeling brave enough to, it was way before YouTube days. And some days I'm still shocked that I do this, because I know, and when I say to you guys, everybody goes, "There, you're not an introvert." I am such an introvert. I am such an introvert. So sometimes I really have to fight myself with, doing some things, but I feel very passionate about being creative. It's brought me such joy in my life. It's helped me also through a lot of things in life. And I feel really passionate about sharing creativity and just kind of dwelling in a place of creativity. So that kind of helps me get over, my normal self would be, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just, I don't know, I'm just very shy. Not once I know people and I have a comfort level, and I'm not, but I'm that person. I hate going to parties and things. Like if somebody invites me and I only know like one person there, oh my gosh, that's just the worst for me, because I will sit in a corner and I won't talk to anybody. Let's see. Oh, that's okay, Annie. We all come and go. That's the best thing about hanging out like this. Kathy says, mostly for the partners, they show how to, ooh, I need that. I need video editing. I need to up my video editing skills. How to quilt, crochet, and knit, and sew. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Take good pictures. Now that I have mastered, having an online website for so many years, I tell people that is the number one thing. If you're going to have your own website, sell on Etsy, whatever it is, that's my absolute number one thing, is to figure out a spot in your house or how to take good pictures, whether it's jewelry or your handmade things, whatever it is. Find a spot in your house. I think preferably natural light for me. I never did kind of figure out the light box situation. But take good pictures. If your pictures are good and your pictures are clickable, you're off and running, I think, because you have to get the person, you have to get them to click on your listing, and you've already sucked them in with a good picture, but you've gotten them at the good picture. So I'm taking this one, this kind of less than 5. I liked how that looks. So I'm adding that in there. I love this one. It has a little bit of a jagged edge, but I feel like I want to put it somewhere. I want to put it there. So I don't always come back in and layer on top of it. Most of the time this is what it is, but I just really love the way these strips looked. So I'm just adding those 2 in. And then maybe we need a little bit more, some more color, since we're kind of going half and half with this. Let's see what else we have. Could do some blue. Could do a little bit of one of these printables. Let's rip this down a little bit. I like this bird. Ooh, maybe there's something on there. I use Filmora to do my editing. Maybe there's something on there. Maybe there's something on how to make printables. Do you have to pay? I think some, yeah, I wonder. Oh, after 30 days. Okay, so that's like a free 30-day trial, and then you have to pay. Yeah. There's also such a wealth of information on YouTube too, right? I find if I'm trying to learn or figure something out, I always feel like YouTube is my first go-to. I go see if anybody has done a video, any informational video. Let's see here. Did I like it there? I think I'll just put it there. I think we're looking pretty good. I don't want to get too muddled. We could maybe put a little bit something here, but then of course, see, now I'm getting into what is too much. Because really this is supposed to just be the intention is just to be a neutral background, right? But I do like the way that looks. So maybe we'll do that. I do like that. Well, I will definitely check it out. I feel like my video editing, like I know how to speed things up. I know, like I've just picked up like, okay, now I know how to do that. I know how to cut things out, because that was, I didn't do any posted videos till this past year. That was sort of that was one skill set that I figured out how to do. So I think we're pretty good here. So we sort of made one half is sort of like this neutral backdrop, and then we came in here and just added some more pastels in. So I think this is going to be really, really great for tons of uses, tags, belly bands, pockets, you name it. And let's do real quick before we go. I think the most fun thing is to come in and cut. So let's cut a little bit of this one. Let's see if we're going to cut the whole thing. But to me, that's sort of that's the fun. Let me put this little piece in the trash. That is the fun after all the collaging. I'm going to grab my paper cutter on the other side of the table. Sorry for the banging. Ooh. Oh, okay. So if you follow the links on those shows, you can get a discount. Nice. Okay. Wait, let me write myself a note. I'm so Skillshare, you said, right? Okay, I'm writing it down here. And then add in. I think I had a couple links I needed to add in below. Okay, perfect. So this is my handy dandy new paper cutter, paper trimmer. I received a few things for Christmas I had on my wish list, and this was one because I've shown the other one I use often. I have that guillotine Fiskars, the guillotine cutter, but I can't cut 12 by 12s, and it's always such a pain, and I have to like do it by hand and get it small enough to fit in the other one. So this was one of the things that I asked for Christmas. So I'm very, very happy to have it. Let's see, what way are we gonna do? I think I'm gonna do this way. Okay, so how does this work? Of course, I'm still learning how this works. Do I go this way? I'm sure you're all saying, no, that's not how you use it. Okay, yeah, I think this is better. Or at least this makes sense to do it this way. So I'm going to slice. Whoops, I think this has to be this way. Let's start this way. So I'm going to cut a couple strips. I think 3-inch wide tags seem to be quite nice. It's sort of a standard size. So let's do that. Let's slice down here. Ooh, it's so pretty. So that's super cool. So of course this could be pockets, it could be belly bands, but that is super cool. And then let's see, let's do it this way again. Maybe a little bit of a surprise. And visually, I think that's kind of nice. I think I'm going to do a 3 by 4.5. I think that's a nice size tag. I don't know that there's necessarily a standard size tag in junk journaling, but these are very cool. Oh my gosh, I love these. I probably would turn it this way just because of the floral, but then you can come in and you can round your corners. You can, do if you want to do the angled tab top, and then I would come in and put another collage over the top. You could certainly just leave it the way it is. It's lovely and beautiful. You can come in, I mean, this one especially, you could just leave it as it is. You can come in and ink the edges, and then you could just even do something as simple as, let me get my little Tim Holtz thing out here. I mean, you could come in, I just grabbed one of the labels. You could add this, maybe a little vintage postage stamp, maybe up here in this area, or down here, maybe a little bit something else. But if you round that off and you angle your top and you add a beautiful ribbon or a little stapled tab, I mean, you're done. Boom. You have a journaling card. And then I would come in, depending on what I'm using this for, I would cover the back with what do I want to say? Journaling paper, right? Some lined paper, or just something that was very neutral, coffee dyed paper. But isn't that beautiful? And yes, it took us a while. We've been on for 1 hour and 43 minutes, but we have been chit-chatting and hanging out and talking. But that's just beautiful. That's a finished tag, or pretty close to finishing. So this really gives you a nice way to mass make, and just to have, how pretty is that? I just grabbed another little one. Just have these master boards at the ready to make whatever it is you need, right? Isn't that pretty? Let's see. Kathy said, I was watching someone who took a brown paper bag, cut 4-inch strips sideways on the bag, and made master boards for tag. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. Wow. So they just used the brown paper bag. Was it like a thicker one, like a grocery bag, like a Trader Joe bag? So cool. That's a great substrate, and it's free. Free. Sometimes I find I'm like, I have to remind myself, I say I junk journal, but I don't use, I tend towards, I guess my love is more the vintage books and the vintage papers and all that stuff, because of course I love vintage. My whole house is thrifted and full of vintage. So, but I don't, that's another thing this coming, I'm trying to get around to what I was trying to say, is I want to remember to use more upcycle, more junk, more things I got in the mail, grocery bags, like Kathy was talking about. I think that I want to start incorporating more of that stuff, because I'm really quick, like, oh, here's my cardstock, or here's my craft cardstock, right? I have a big packet of that, and I grab the craft cardstock, or I pull it out of my bin versus using trash bags and stuff. I think that's marvelous. I am too, Kathy. I am such a slow crafter. I try to speed it up with you guys, or try to pick things that, I can kind of do in a certain amount of time, but I'm a very slow crafter. This actually came together pretty quickly. I don't know. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, you could do this and this and this. But yeah. And sometimes I have to get up and I have to walk away, and it's just not the way I want it to look, or it looked one way in my head and isn't it, it's not turning out the way. Yes, you're so good with that. I have to say, Leanne, you love to upcycle. I love that. You incorporate a lot more of the upcycling and the junk. You epitomize, right, when we say junk journaling. And for me, I'm more the vintage. So I don't know. Is that really junk journaling? Maybe it's not junk journaling. I don't know. Is there like a word for that? Let's see. Oh yeah, Kathy does. Kathy, you do. You use a lot of lunch bags. Yep. You make beautiful journals with your lunch bags. I haven't made a journal out of a bag yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, Debs, so I will say I just got it for Christmas, so I haven't used it a ton, because I didn't craft much over the break, maybe just this past week. I love it. It cuts, but let me get rid of that. It cuts like butter. It's so nice. That part I love about it. It has this arm that comes out. I can't say I've really pulled it out and used the arm, but I like that aspect of it. I actually now see, I don't like this, or is it supposed to be that way? Oh, maybe this is supposed to come out. Okay. The one thing I was going to point out, and I was a little bit disappointed, but maybe now I'm seeing that it has a piece of plastic that needs to come up. But look at this. I just noticed. See this little bit of plastic? But maybe that's supposed to peel off. I think. I hope I'm peeling it off. Okay. So, yeah. So now the thing I was going to point out that I didn't like about it, I'm probably supposed to peel something off here. Because see how it is right here? When I opened it, so this was a gift, but it was like I said to Jim and the kids, I'm like, okay, this is the paper cutter that I want. You order it and you wrap it, because I was doing some research. But when it came, it had these like bubble things in here, and I took like a Starbucks card, like a gift card, and I was trying to like get rid of the bubbles, but this must peel off. So now I don't have any negative feelings about it. I'll have to figure it out later, but I feel like I'm sure that peels off, and I can see right here too, right? That's lifting up a little bit. So that probably peels up. So it no longer has that negative thing about it. I don't mind this, but the one thing I did notice, and I don't get that with my guillotine cutter is that there's like a little lip. It's kind of hard to describe, and I don't know, you probably wouldn't be able to see it. So I had this down this way, so it gets a little bit of a ridge and a little bit of a lip there. So I would say that's my one thing maybe I don't love about it, but I don't know. Would anybody notice that? I noticed it, and maybe it just sort of, I don't know. It is kind of there. Here it's very flat, and here it kind of has the ridge. So as long as you don't mind that, and my guess is probably any of the slide cutters, they probably all do that, right? That would be my guess because there's a little indent here. So I think probably because of that indent, I'm sure they all have it happen. And I went with the Fiskars because I've had the guillotine Fiskars one for, I don't know, 15 years, maybe more. I love it. It's never broken. It's sharp. I've never had to sharpen it. It's great. I've used the heck out of it. So I thought I'll go with the Fiskars on this one too. So and I think it was, oh, you know what? I put it down. There's a link to it down in the supplies. I did. I put it down there. So it's down in the supply list. So you can link on that. I want to say it was like $25, maybe $25. And there definitely is cheaper ones on there. You know, you can get them in like the $10 price range, and I may get one of the like cutters that are less expensive, maybe to keep in the RV or as we start to travel more. Oh, look, see, I was working on it and it peeled up. So now I love it. It doesn't have that bubble issue. It probably said on the packaging and I didn't read it. Oh, so now it's beautiful and lovely. It's beautiful and lovely. Ooh, hi Giggles, welcome. I am using see-through scraps of ribbon on my masterboard to see how it works. I bet it's beautiful. Wow, let us know. I've also seen people, it tends to be something maybe I put on afterward, but a lot of people use doilies, right, in their masterboard creation. So those are pretty too. It gives some texture and there's a little bit of see-throughness with the doilies. Ooh, let us know. What did Leanne say? You're intentional crafter. I don't know. Sometimes I just sit down and I do, and it usually comes out. Just think, you guys might not see the stuff that doesn't turn out well, right? I might only show the stuff that I like the way it looks. Oh, I'm so happy because I almost was tempted to send it back. That was how bummed out I was at that bubble situation. And now it's gorgeous. It's so flat and shiny. Oh, I love it. Shannon Green. I bet I've watched her before. Is that what her channel is called? Shannon Green? Trash Journal. She is so funny. She used all old packaging. Oh, I'll have to look for it. Let's see. I'm going to make a note for that too. I feel like maybe I have. Shannon Green, but I'm going to write her down. Vintage is beautiful. Yeah, I'm just drawn to it. I think obviously because I love vintage, I have a passion for it. I've been collecting it for a long time. I collected vintage books and antique books way before I kind of started doing this kind of crafting back when I was doing the metal work. So I guess, yeah, for me, it's probably no brainer to kind of think about that because I already loved it. Loved it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Is that her channel name? Let's see, what did Kathy say? I have a big old school guillotine and small one. I found them both. Do they work really good? I have I have a big one that I lugged home from my mom's house, like the big, same thing, like the big old school ones. It probably was from a school. I don't. My mom was a thrifter, antiquer. She was always finding all these amazing treasures too. It's probably where I caught the bug. It's so heavy and it's still out in the garage. And I keep telling Jim, I need to bring it in the house and test it, which I thought about doing before I got this one. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to have the big old thing. I mean, it would be great to kind of have at the corner of the table here, but I wouldn't be lugging it over to you guys and using it and cutting on screen. But I do need to get mine out and or my mom's out and see if it works. It's like way up in the rafters. And hopefully we don't have to sharpen it, but I think we could probably figure out if we needed to. Yeah, it just sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like I said, well, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next week. I'm not 100% sure. I do want to do something that incorporates a master board in it in some way, but I think I'm going to incorporate, at least see, it's in my mind. They might not turn out well. I'll probably start on a demo today or tomorrow and see how successful it is and how it turns out. But if it doesn't turn out, then I just kind of switch gears and I do some other version or something else. But again, I wish I was that person that crafted way ahead of time and way ahead of like the holidays, and I had a lot of projects ready to go. Maybe people don't do that. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think ahead enough. Let's see. She did a show with Debbie and Laura doing the Rooms Gone Wild. Did she? Okay. I'll have to look. Oh, maybe I remember. Maybe I didn't watch that though. I feel like I did. And you named them too, right, Kathy? You came up with the Rooms Gone Wild. Rooms Go Wild. Yeah, I'm sure, right? They're so heavy. That's why I haven't gotten mine down from up in the garage. I've said that to Jim like a million times. I need to get the cutter down, and then I just get busy and don't do it. Maybe this week I'll get it down. I'm going to write myself a note. That's another note. I'm going to write it down and I will report back. So cutter. I have Shannon Green, I have Skillshare, I have Cutter, and then I'll report back. I'll post on Instagram and I'll report back to you guys next week. Oh, don't let me forget. We have to do the prompt. We're back. Let's get back to doing our prompt. So I know we have the ATCs obviously going on in our Instagram crafting group right now. So that takes precedence because we're doing an ATC swap, most definitely. But I'm going to pull something out of the prompt jar so we can get back to that, because I find sometimes doing the things in the prompts, it actually helps me come up with a project for the week. It has happened many a time. Okay, so I'm pulling out one. Let's see what this is. Framed. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, something immediately came to mind with that. So our prompt for this week is framed. So I don't know. I feel like I maybe could even incorporate something into the ATCs, right? Were you, Kathy? Yeah, well, maybe incorporating this in. It's hard. I have to say, it's much easier just to jump on here and go live with all of you. It's so much simpler, right? We just have to set up the thumbnail, and that's super easy after all these years of doing it. But making a video is hard. You have to film it. You have to, if you want to edit it, there's editing. There's all kinds of stuff that goes to it. And sometimes it is a lot. It is a lot. I filmed a haul video yesterday, and I've been procrastinating on it for at least a week. At least a week. and I just couldn't. And I usually do them in the morning, and I think I did it really late yesterday. I just couldn't get around to it. So, okay. So that is it. If anybody is here in the chat and would like to be in our Instagram group, it's a very casual group that we have. We have a chat set up kind of at the back end of Instagram, and we don't have a lot of rules. You could use this prompt any way that you see fit, and you don't even have to do it. There's some weeks where I haven't, and some of us haven't, because we get busy. So we don't have a lot of rules, but just some sort of paper crafting project that has to do with framed. Yes, right? Yes. Yeah. And that's what it's named, right? Vintage Crafty Chat, or maybe it is Vintage Craft and Chat. Angela was so sweet and she set it up. And there's some, that's another thing this year. And I want to be more active in it for sure. But it's just fun. It's just a nice, welcoming, wonderful group of crafters, many of that are in here now. So yeah, if you're not in it, you're watching the replay and you'd like to be included, just message me, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, so send me a message and we can add you in. And it's just fun. And sometimes having these little prompts just gets us. And what we do, if we make something with the prompt, again, you don't need to, and then we just post a picture in the group. And then some of us, like Kathy, has made videos because that sort of prompted, something she's made and she loves, and she's done a video. I've done the same. But again, just even posting a picture is super easy. And we don't, what do I want to say? We're not voting. We're not, it's just encouraging each other and loving and getting inspiration from seeing what everybody else is doing. So that's it. I'm talking. I'll take a picture and I'll post it in the group later. And I think that was it. Next week is still a surprise, yet to be determined. And yeah, and I'll have that whole video coming out on Saturday. So look for that. And I think that's it. Let me turn this around. Does anybody else have anything they want to say or mention? Anybody have sales or anything coming out that they want to promote or talk about? Yeah, we're probably all starting to get back in see, here's my cabinet. See the cabinet? Oh my gosh. I almost don't even want to go in there. I don't even want to go in. And it's two-sided. So I only have one. Usually I close the door. I only have one side open so you guys can see. So that, yeah. So it's kind of like, it's like old school. That's what we have here in our house. We have like the old school closets. So it's probably about the size of the old school 1956 closets. And it's double-sided, but it has shelves. And it was here when we bought the house, because our house was built, or the original part of the house was built in 1956. So I'm guessing whoever did it, this room was added on. I'm guessing they probably did it, which makes sense because it's the dining room to hold their dishes and decor, whatever. We never used it as that. It always had craft things in it when the kids were little, because Taylor was just, passionate about crafting and art and all that from a young age. So it mostly had, when the kids were really little, we first moved in, it had, craft supplies, like games, board games, stuff like that. Maybe I kept a few candles and stuff. And then it just morphed into holding all my other business stuff. And yeah, so that's it. So be on the lookout for that. You do? I'll put the link in. You did. Okay, good. So everybody go to Kathy's channel. She put the link in. Kathy said, I made a folder journal in the time you were the time we were talking it on. You sewed it together and now you're adding the cover. Nice. See, look how long we've been on, over 2 hours. And Kathy made tortilla with cheese and tomato. So you guys all got a lot done. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye because I could just sit here and talk all day. Love you all. I hope you all have a very safe and good week. I will see you all here next Thursday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And we are praying, those of us like myself that are praying, we are praying for all those here in Southern California and Los Angeles, and Leanne's daughter and her boyfriend and their pets, and Nettie and all the other friends, anybody here who has family and loved ones, and Steph's daughter and Steph who's heading here. So we're praying for everybody. And if anybody needs anything, again, my home is open. I'm here. If your daughter needs anything, Leanne, just let me know. Okay. I'm not just saying that, I mean that. So, okay. Love everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.